Welcome to Talking Horses. Greg Wolf filling in for Andy Serling. Good to be with you with Anthony Stabile. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. We got a lot going on today. Kick off this winter meet this afternoon.
Yes, the tradition of the winter meet. For those of you wondering, looking at your PPs, seeing that the stats have reset, this would have been the day. I feel like we should have a little 40 ounce here since we're in Queens to pour a little out for the old inner track. This would be the opening of the inner track.
Yeah.
And we always would reset the stats, and we've kept that tradition despite the fact that the inner track is now the outer turf course. And we just reset the stats, and these stats will now go through a long while. I don't have a definitive date for you. A very long time.
Yeah. Also, Pick 6 carryover today. 87,000 plus begins in race 3. Chance we have a carryover again?
There's always a chance. I mean, obviously now we go to the 8 race cards. Fields are a little bit smaller, but yeah, I mean, I think this is an interesting card. And a humble brag here. The last time there was a carryover, we had a little success in the Pick 6. So maybe we can try and knock it down again today.
Ticket you gave out on the air. Nice call there. Let's get through the business, then we'll get into the card. I want to remind everyone where to play the Pick 6. Again, it begins in race 3 this afternoon. $87,000 carryover. You can play with Naira Bets. Get signed up. Started. Go to NairaBets.com. Download the app. Take advantage of that $200 deposit match sign-up bonus. New members, the code to use when you get started. Bonus 200. Get that extra firepower for the Pick 6 this afternoon. There's the number. Begins in race 3 today. We'll see if we can come up with any singles. Good luck, everybody.
I got one I really like a lot in the sequence today.
Okay. And take advantage of this 50-50 bonus. Bet $50 on Aqueduct and Los Alamitos. You get a $15 bonus whether you win or lose. Gotta opt in. Don't forget to do that. Go to NairaBets.com to take advantage.
I was going to check just now. I'm not sure if you can opt into everything yet. I know tomorrow you can opt in for everything for the weekend.
Oh, really? Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, one big opt-in, general opt-in.
Well, you have to you have to opt into each individual promotion, but you can do it all on Friday.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I'm lazy.
I am too. Less buttons to push. Good thing. We're going to try and push less buttons in this Pick 6 too, so we can find some. I have a horse I like too. I wonder if it's the same one. I have a feeling it is. But let's start with the first race because we're going to hit this early Pick 5. Build a little bankroll.
We can't reinvest it because the Pick 5.
Unfortunately,
the crossroads get a little.
No, but when you mentally
bigger.
know you have that money, you're going to cash.
Right. Because that always works. You mentally, you're going to cash because that always works. It's worked for me every time.
First race, 1 turn mile, New York bred maiden special weight to kick off this Thursday card in here. Let's look at the race from Wicked Lady first.
Okay.
Debuted for Kenny McPeek back on October the 23rd. This was at Belmont. And it's a weird stretch run for her first time out. Had to kind of alter course, got shut off a little bit, goes outside, dips back inside. The eventual winner in here, Cupid's Heart, first-time starter, who came back and was 5th in the Key Sense next time out.
Yeah, she's easy to spot on the outside, swinging out now in that in the lavender cap. Yeah, look, she was in and out, like you said. She kind of had a useful debut, running in spots here, lugging in a little bit. See Kendrick trying to keep her straight and get her back on that right rein, and she battles on nicely. You know, it's the little things, Greg. Right in life, it's the little things. You have to like the fact that filly was coming outside of her and she was able to hold her off for the show, though. That's important when you see a horse who's, I don't want to say she struggled through the lane, but she obviously is still trying to figure things out a little bit. Now she takes a very logical progression from the 6 furlongs to the mile. My biggest problem with her, though, is they kind of ran away from her late. And, I mean, obviously it looks like she's going to want to go a little bit more ground, but Unified was better sprinting. I know he won the Peter Pan. And we'll see. She looks so logical that I took a step or two against her. But I mean, if you're playing the early Pick 5, you're obviously using this.
I didn't feel she was so logical, but I just felt there was more upside. Just being that was her debut.
She gets right. It was her debut. She gets post relief. Some people don't like the rail, especially for a first. I mean, she did a lot of things right in her debut. Like I said, namely holding that horse off for the third place money. That was good. That was a good thing. She took some money in her debut. That's always a good sign. And yeah, I mean, I think she makes a lot of sense. But like I said, I wanted to take a couple of shots against her.
All right, so Carrigate, who you went with, who I wound up with third in here. This one had problems out of the beginning of the race, and winds up a distant second, but productive. That was stretching out to a mile for the first time.
Yeah, off the turf race, stretched out to the mile. I don't like the fact that there are trouble lines. Bump break, very awkward start, step slow, veer didn't start. That means she's doing it on her own, and she's getting a little help. Now, the reason she's getting a little help is she's not getting away from there cleanly. It leaves her, she's subjected to getting into a little bit more trouble at the start. And the rail's not a great draw, but I really liked how she finished up last time. I thought that she ran well going that flat mile. I thought the mile, she's by Arrogate out of a Loiron mare, so distance should not be an issue for her. And I thought that she made such a big step up from her sprint races to that mile race last time that if she can get away from there cleanly. Now Javier's ridden her a couple of times, and I think it has to be in the back of his head from the rail, having ridden her a couple of times, you got to get her out of there. You got to really be paying attention when they spring a latch, and you got to be getting her out of there today. If they do, I think she's going to be. I think she's going to be right there today.
No Doc Rock for you anywhere on here. I see it. This is the one who battled with Wicked Lady for third and got necked out of third to run fourth in that race that we just showed you. First of all, it's Pletcher. First time going a little bit longer, and the dam's actually kind of a cool story. Started out as a claimer, and then actually became a multiple stakes winner at a mile or beyond, and became a multiple graded stakes place runner as well. So I thought the extra ground, going to appreciate and want to throw in there.
Yeah, this horse, I've seen enough.
Yeah.
I've seen enough. Even money,
even getting more ground?
9-2, I've seen enough. She'll beat me today.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen enough.
First race in the books?
First race in the. I thought Noli Tameri was a little interesting as well.
Yeah.
This filly's, the bottom's all turf, and she's state bred, so obviously you're gonna keep her up here. Although I wouldn't be surprised if she took a late van down to Florida. She was as disinterested early on as you could see, and then she kind of made up some ground late. I think she'll appreciate the mile as well.
All right, race 2, huge scratch in this race with the 9 coming out, Jet Set Juliet, who likely would have been in front of this race.
Did you pick her?
I initially picked her, and then I changed my mind, and I
Okay.
went to the 3, the Honorable Ruth, who's now going to be a very short price.
Yeah,
there.
I picked Jet Set Juliet, and now I scratch into the Honorable Ruth, who, like you said, now is destined for somewhere in the 2-1 range, right? Maybe shorter.
Maybe
she could be shorter.
Yeah, drops in for a tag for the first time. And let's see. Unfortunately, we're going to show you the Jet Set Julia race, but she got beat by a stablemate. So with her gone, I guess pace becomes a little bit of a question in this race. But the Honorable Ruth has shown pace against better, even though it was a sloppy track. But you look at who beat her last time out. Silver Fist actually set the pace in the key sense. And she didn't fade all that badly to
No.
fourth of 8 in that field. Can't Hurry Love, who was second in there. Lost by a nose at the same level next time out. That was State Bred Maiden Special. I just thought this horse now is an absolute standout.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is, she's the speed now. And this is one of those races where, it's very hard, I think, 2-year-old maiden claimers to have a really strong opinion. I had a strong opinion about Jet Set Juliet for everything you said. She was going to be the speed. She was going to, she had the race under her belt where she got beat by a stablemate who, I don't want to say they thought could run a little bit, but certainly was a little faster than this filly. She just made so much sense. Now, when she scratches, it's almost like the horse that she had to beat because this field is not the toughest 40 you're ever going to see. It's almost like the Honorable Ruth is an even more logical and stronger favorite than Jet Set Juliet would have been, because Jet Set Juliet had to deal with the Honorable Ruth. Who does the Honorable Ruth have to deal with now?
I do think there's some to do. Look at the rail, Take Charge Lisa.
Yeah,
was
I
in
guess.
that race. She's quick and now adds blinkers as well. And from the inside's got to go,
I
right?
didn't have the blinker change. Okay. You would think. Bug Boys Christian Ron was probably going to try and put her on the lead. Yeah, I got the 8 Endless Crusade, another one, Charlie Roberts. See if Charlie gets aggressive with Endless Crusade. I guess the thing is, where do you want to go? I know our friend Tom Morley has a firster in here, Boom Roasted, for Rob Masiello and the Empire Racing Club folks. Always like to see them do well. That's a neat little thing going on over at Empire Racing. But other than that, Meraviglioso ships up from the Mid-Atlantic. They're having some issues down there with the racetrack, so I think we're going to see some more Laurel shippers coming up here.
That dam actually won the debut. Grade 1 placed on turf, was a stakes winner on dirt as well, routing.
Yeah, she had all her siblings all had her offspring rather all up here with mostly with Hibiscus, who bred this filly as well. So yeah, maybe one of the firsters can run. They bring their rider. Claudio Gonzalez brings Victor Carrasco with them today. Like I said, you're going to see a lot of that now with the issues down at Laurel with the racetrack. I think we're going to see a lot of shippers up here, both equine and human. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some fresh faces in the jocks room on occasion as well.
The 12, I see not in your selections.
Can't catch Casey, yeah.
Intrigue you at all? Two turf starts, stretched out second time out. The Dam was actually 6-time winner on grass.
You got to be, right, and that's all turf ready. You got to be careful now. Turf season's over. The state-bred claimers, the maidens, more often than not, even a guy like Doc Himmel, who does send horses to Florida, she wasn't that competitive last time out going long up here. I can't imagine she wants to go 5/8 against Open Company down at Gulfstream. You almost have to give these horses one chance on the dirt to see what happens. If they can dirt, you keep them in training up here for the winter. If not, you're probably just turning them out for 2 or 3 months until we bring the turf back in April. So it gets a little dicey this time of year, especially with the maidens that have never tried the dirt for that simple reason.
It's not going to take a huge number to win this race.
It's not going to take a huge number to win this race. That is
so
correct.
We'll see it.
You are correct,
and at least
sir.
Jose Ortiz shows up there. The sprint in the debut on grass, albeit, was pretty
cutback
good.
may help. If she's going to dirt, it's going to be sprinting. Because she showed last time distance is probably not her friend.
All right, race 3, pick 6 begins here. $87,000 carryover. 14,000 claiming event for non-winners of 3 lifetimes. 6 furlong sprint. Oh boy, we agree with Baba. So we're going to see.
We are not solving the Sphinx with Baba, my friend. I can tell you that.
We're going to look at the race back on November 13th. This was the last time out, and was forward early.
Yeah,
and shows great gate speed here too.
So I did not like this filly that much last time for the simple fact that she had a run. She went down to Parks to run. Andy Sterling and I had a little conversation about this, and she ran pretty well last time. She ran one of her better races, in fact. And more often than not, I will be stubborn. And right, like in poker, it's a continuation bet.
We're going to watch the stretch, though, too. Because she does get shed off here in the stretch.
Okay. Yeah, you'll see her. She's still in between. She's in between horses here.
It's the one. It looks like the 7, but it's actually the 1 Bastet. I looked at the head-on, who actually knocks her a little bit, even though the 7's coming into Crowder.
Yeah, they took a look at this, stewards. They didn't do anything. They left it alone.
Now, she was weakening.
Yes. Yeah, I mean,
but
it didn't cost. It certainly didn't cost her a placing.
It was a solid bump.
Yeah, certainly didn't cost her a placing. She was going to finish 3rd in here. I think it was the right call. That was for the quarter 3 life, and it doesn't happen often. But if Bastet was in here, Bastet would be 2-5. I'm confident in saying that if Bastet was in this race today, Bastet would be 2-5. She got beat 2 lengths to Bastet last time.
Yeah,
this is more often than not, it's not. But this is a significant enough drop from the quarter 3 life to the 14-3 life.
Bastet's 2 for 14, by the way.
I'm very well. That's why they're in for 3 life, Greg. That's why they're in.
I don't know that Bastet would be 2-5.
I'm telling you, Bastet would be 2. If you took Bastet's figures and put them up against the fillies in here, Bastet would be 2-5 against these horses.
So you look at the win. Look at the win back at Saratoga from. Are we going with Baba? Is that how we're saying
It's Baba, yeah.
So when she won that race at Saratoga, Quantitative Breezing came back and won by 8.5 lengths next time out.
And then got beat a pole.
Casilda 40 Tails came back and won by 8 lengths next time out.
She's in tomorrow.
That was a tough group that she put away that day. In terms of pace and how she's going to be able to do it on the front end in here, there's this big long shot, the 4, probably going to try and pressure. Guns blazing, the 6, probably going to try and pressure. And even outside, Danny Deepcuts isn't slow.
No, but I would think Kendrick, who has ridden this filly before, and she was off the pace. He went to ride her at Parks. I think it's become pretty apparent that she's going to need the lead. Now, Dazzling Speed is faster. Dazzling Speed's a little faster than her.
She sat on. So the race we were talking about, Saratoga, she sat off Baba.
Yeah.
So that doesn't concern me quite as much.
Okay. I mean, I'd rather her be on the lead, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't concern me. And Kendrick's one of the best at playing the break and figuring out what to do if he's got to call an audible. Yeah. I mean, she's drawn best of the speed, too. She's drawn outside, so.
Yeah.
I'm not too
What'd you
concerned
like
with
about Effie Meister?
Effie Meister just showed up last time, right? It was a big effort. It was second off the trainer change. And while it was not the toughest bunch, that was an open 12.5. So she is, you see a price, a claiming tag for $1,500 more. This is a big drop. This is a big drop because, again, we talked about the difference between Baba's 25-3 life to this 14-3 life. This filly went from a 12.5 open to the 14-3 life. This is a drop in class. So I thought she showed up last time. I thought she ran well for Pat Reynolds. She kind of followed Bustin' Bay around there. But I think if she comes back with a repeat effort of that, she could be right there today.
I agree with you.
She'll be a square price, too.
Yeah, I put her in there, too. A question I wanted to pose to you with Danny Deepcuts. Wins at Saratoga in that 16 non-winners at 2. Looks like she can sit just off the speed as well. That last start was, I know it was a slop. It was just horrendous. Do we forgive it and put a line through it?
She did not run particularly well on the slop back in May in her debut. She did not run well on the slop last time. The 3 figs she ran on fast tracks are fine. And when she got beat to Happy Sophia got herself in really good form. She won 2 in a row. She's hit the board a couple other times, so it's not like she's found herself in really good form. Her problem is she's controlled. Her best is when she's sitting on top of or on, pedestrian paces, and that's probably not going to happen here. But I think she can get a piece.
How many tickets do you think lean on Baba as a single?
I don't know if there's, I'm not the best ticket strategy guy to talk to because I'm a little bit of a caveman still. She's far from a lean.
Yeah.
But should you be leaning in 14-3 life claiming races? The general, and I don't deal in absolutes either, the general answer to that question is the wide range is no.
No, yeah.
Absolutely not.
And when you attack this, by saying, "Caveman, you're just going to play one ticket."
I haven't figured that out yet today.
But that's what you typically do.
Yeah, that's what I typically do.
All right.
Because, if I would have did it last Saturday, I would have hit it like 6 times if I played multiple tickets. I would have.
And who wants that?
Yeah, I mean, what do I need? I don't need 15,000. It's only going to get me in trouble.
We pause after 5, by the way?
We'll start after 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So race 4, late pick 5, starts in this one. $8,000 claiming race, 1 turn mile coming up. Noble Thought, who I do not have in my top 4, is your top selection.
Yeah, I had a tough time with this race.
Coming out of a tough race for this level.
My luck, the race I have the toughest time with today is the Crossroads race. And I say that because this is part of the early pick 5, it starts the late pick 5, and it's a part of the pick 6. I had a tough time with this race. So Gustavo Rodriguez's horses are running well. I mean, again, this time of year we dropped the bottom to $8,000. So when he ran for the 10 last time, that was the bottom. The difference in fields from what he faced last time, top to bottom, to what he faces today is like 3 class levels. I mean, he ran against Blewett and Twisted Tom have earned $1.5 million between the 2 of them.
Who aren't the same horses when they're earning that money.
Right, they're not. That's why they're running for 10,000. But you go through this bunch of horses, and you know why the bottoms dropped, number 1. And this horse's race last time, in his first dirt start in a really, really long time, I mean, he almost, and they let Blewett walk the dog on the front end. They went 50 and change. Now you cut back to the 1 turn mile. You figure there's going to be more pace for him, right? Magnetron comes back for Rob Actress. Blood Moon is in here. Flowers for Lisa. Whenever Flowers for Lisa and Ashar show up their speed, Invest has speed. This pace has to, I'm not saying it's going to be fast. It'll be faster than it was when Blewett went 50 last time.
Yeah, there was no pace for the 5 chase into. I think this race probably with Ashar is the biggest question mark of this whole pick 6 because this horse, talk about taking a nosedive in class. This horse faced Miles D, who just won the Discovery Beat Speaker's Corner. Faced Untreated last time out. He ran a 96 buyer in that win in a first level allowance victory. And that's the first time that horse ran since he faced Essential Quality in the Bluegrass. But if you go 3 starts back, and he's gotten his head beat in those last 2, You go 3 starts back, he runs a race that absolutely just decimates this group, and he's going to win by a pole. But he has not produced. He just got in way over his head, obviously. But what's that going to do to him? I mean, he has been just drilled the last 2 starts against horses who could wind up being graded stakes winners going forward.
So, I am the biggest Wayne Potts fan there is. Love Wayne. Think Wayne does a great job. Wayne and Bonnie Lucas do an amazing job, right? Andy makes fun of me for how many Wayne Potts horses I pick. Todd Pletcher is a very tough person to claim horses off of and win. I do not think it's a coincidence that he claimed this horse, ran this horse back in 2 weeks, the horse won, and now this horse is kind of falling on hard times. Listen, you want to talk about drops, I mean, this is like 10 drops. He's gotten beat 72 lengths in his last 2 races combined. He's 9-5 on the morning line. Now, I don't disagree with David's morning line. This horse has to be 2-1 on the morning line.
He deserves to be.
You really want to bet this horse off those last 2 races?
I put a line through those races because they're meaningless to me.
So you can put a line through 1.
I didn't pick him.
I know you didn't. You can put a line through 1.
No, I can put a line through 2. I think there's an argument untreated might wind up being better than Miles D going forward.
I do not subscribe to that handicap.
But we don't know. You can't say yes or no, and I can't say yes or no.
I agree with everything you're saying about the horse flesh. I think those are 2 really nice horses. This horse stopped running at the half-mile pole.
No question.
I don't think that has as much to do with competition as anything else. I mean, this horse is going to be 2-1 today off of 2 30-plus length defeats. I'm licking my chops to bet against this horse today.
Nosedive. It's amazing how that speed lasts longer when you drop down to the very bottom.
The problem is you can't have any confidence.
No, I agree with you.
Betting on
That's
these
why I
horses
think he's fascinating in here. I think he's fascinating because I think a lot of people are going to lean here. And he might just run away from this group. We'll see. I went to Invest. So you have Invest third there.
Yeah.
I don't think he has to be on the lead, but I just love the fact he was incredibly sharp last start. He's going to be forward in here, no question. And the horse who beat him, Bellarmine Hall, he missed by a neck. They went a super fast pace that day. Invest was on it the entire way. He did all the work. Bellarmine Hall is actually a 6-time winner who ran an 85 Beyer just 2 starts back on dirt. It's a pretty good horse, and that was at Finger Lakes, and you think, oh, a Finger Lakes horse. This horse has ability. And you even go back to some of those races at Laurel and at Pimlico late last year, beginning of this year. Those numbers he ran in those races compete with Ashar's best number he ran 3 starts back when it looked like he would have blown this field away.
Yeah, no, I'm at that price especially. See, that's the thing. If you have a horse like Ashar that you are not a fan of, like I'm not a fan of Ashar today. These horses, you find the Invests of the world, especially in the multi-race sequences.
Yeah.
You're onto something. So, yeah, he's definitely a horse I'll be using. I'll use a little Magnetron, even though the Actress Barn seems to be cooling off a little bit.
Are you going to? So, if you were playing late pick 5, pick 6, would you use Ashar protectively?
I won't use Ashar.
Just a toss.
I'm not using Ashar today. I'm using the 1, 5, and 8.
Okay. Pause.
I'm using the 1, 5, and 8. Yes.
All right. Quick break, and we'll be back to talk pick 4 right after this.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com.
I would just say this next race coming up starts the late pick 4. Get all the coverage you can possibly get, which probably means a favorite's going to win, right? 6 furlongs, New York bred, maiden 40 claiming race in this spot coming up. And so you went to the 9 in here.
Let's talk about this very quickly. You just said that the favorite's going to win if we hit the all button, right?
Probably.
Where are the people in the world that hit the $100 horse? Because we're not 2 of them. Me, I hit the all button here, 780. Over under 780, but under 780 as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Where are the people? Show us your faces, people, that hit $100 horses when you hit the all. Kyle would probably be one. I'll count.
Do you know, and this is not an exaggeration stat-wise, I haven't worked it out, but when I go all but one in a ticket,
Oh, God.
it's like 80 to 90% the one I don't use is going to win.
City.
I can't tell you how many
in
times
any
it's
spot
happened.
that you leave them out in a triple part wheel, anything.
How do the
Hitting
racing
book.
gods know?
They know.
It's amazing.
They know.
All right, so you went to the 9, who I have third in here. Delta Downs debut, didn't take a lot of money, but did show some ability early.
Yeah, showed a little speed and over at the bull ring. That the 5/8 is out of the chute at Delta Downs. Ships up here, faces fellow New York Brits. Tony Dutrow, great to see the Tony Dutrow renaissance continue. 25% this year after a couple of lean years. Tony and the team do a great job. John and everybody over there. Javier Castellano climbs aboard. Again, not a lot of pedigree in here with the firsters. I didn't think he had too much to really deal with locally. 6-1 on the morning line's a square. That's a square
It
price,
tells you
man.
about this race. It's 2 first-time starters that are first and second choice, but 7-2, 4-1. The 11, Bistrita, and then Kodakai. The Dam never won. This is the first full. The works don't seem to show much. Let's take a look at the race that I put up here. Bells on her toes. So this is October 29th, and a distant third. And Jet Set Juliet, who again scratched from the second race, would have been one of the favorites, would have been the speed in that race. And her stablemate for Rudy Rodriguez, Slow Crossing, wind up winning this race. Can improve, I guess, a little bit. I didn't love it.
You see Slow Crossing just rolling right by her like she's standing still here inside the 8th pole and just keeps on going.
What do you think about these spread out fields that we're going to see here?
You're going to see that, this is when they get to the bottom level in the maiden claimers, this is what you see. And I mean, Rudy's 2 fillies beat this field literally by a paw. I mean, they beat the field 10 lengths. So, and people will point to it, the results narrative, people will point to it and say, oh, look, she ran third with the blinkers. She run that much better than a debut?
Yeah.
Not really. So to me, it was about a fresh face. It was about a firster. There's not much pedigree with the firsters. Like you said, Dam on the 7 didn't win. First foal, not much there with the 11 who, these Jeremiah Engelhardt firsters. And Jeremiah doesn't run a lot of horses for a tag first time out, but he has success. Last couple of years, he's 4 for 13 overall. That shows you 2 things. For a guy that runs, Jeremiah's run 360 horses this year. For a guy that's going to run 800 horses combined the last 2 years, that runs all up and down the East Coast, big base at Finger Lakes, you would think he'd run more firsters for a tag. He doesn't. When he does it well. I probably slept this horse and should have had this horse up there. The problem is, do you want any short price in here? I mean,
I'll be honest with you. So I mentioned the 7, the 11 were firsters. I probably should have thrown in the 1 here at some point because the 1, the Dam actually produced, was a 12-time winner, has produced 3 multiple winners. It's Kendra Carmouche from the inside. Well, the horse has any ability. If anyone has a hint of ability, I would just probably throw that one in. My top pick, though, is the 4. Derek Ryan, second time out. This horse actually completely broke last in the debut. Wasn't making up a ton of ground, but did start to run a little bit late. I just like the fact she didn't totally give up. It was a sloppy track, better break, fast going, start under her belt. I think there's some ability to move forward. So she's going to be a big price.
Yeah. Derek Ryan put over $100 firster here the other day. Don't think people are going to sleep on that, so you might not get the price you want. You want today, my friend. Be careful. Don't get your hopes up too high.
I'm not leaning heavily there.
No,
Don't
I'm just
worry.
saying that 15 to 1 morning line is usually, but everything you said. So I wouldn't be, and the fact that he put over a big price the other day, wouldn't be surprised if this horse took a little money today.
And by that, I thought the 12 was a huge scratch. The 12 originally was my top pick.
Yeah, I was using 12s as well.
Yeah. All right, so 5th in the books, race 6. Might be a lean race. 6
This is my lean race.
furlongs, allowance optional claiming field. Do you want to see Oksana's race first, or you want to talk your 3 first?
No, let's watch Oksana.
Okay, so let's look at Oksana. This was 2 starts back. Prioress, grade 2, Saratoga, and she's the 1 in here. Super Sensational was second in here, of course, won the grade 3 victory ride. You see the speed. She stumbled out of the gate. She still gets to the front in here. And into the stretch, she gets shut off by this 2, Edie, Meanie, Miny, Mo. That completely compromised her in the stretch. And she still comes back and passes that filly. But to me, that was fairly significant.
I thought her day was over.
She wasn't going to win.
No.
But
I
it was
thought the day
significant.
was over. I don't know if it necessarily cost her anything in here. So part of the reason, see, this is why this is the greatest game played outdoors. You and I could sit 6 feet apart and you don't have my horse in the top 4. And part of the reason I like my horse as much as I do is I'm going to get a price because I really don't like your horse that much.
Yeah.
People are going to see that Prioress, and they're going to. It's like having the Christmas tree, and you throw the tinsel on, you put the lights on. Ooh, grade 2.
Her 2 starts before that too.
The
Decimate
problem
this
with
field.
the 2 starts before that.
You
are
hate
they're at
Parks.
Parks.
Why are you so down on Parks?
My man, look at the 2 Parks races and look at the other 3 races. There's a reason for this. There's a reason for this. These horses
the figures are a little inflated, no question.
And I think horses either like that place or don't. She obviously loves it down in Bucks County. She loves it down there. You know, where would he stay? Buildings get a little taller. I don't think you actually cross the Hudson, though, when you go from Parks to here. Anyway, she could win.
And let me just one last
6
point
to
on her.
5?
One last point on her too. I didn't love the fact she went to Penn National and got beat. Okay, as the favorite, but the filly that beat her is actually 4 for 5 and a multiple stakes winner.
Okay.
So it's not like she was facing
No, listen.
nothing in that spot. But I still would have liked her to win. Okay, back to your
I
three.
like Dealing Justice today. Dealing Justice runs well behind Miss Brazil and Caramel Swell. First time comes back, breaks the maiden. I don't know what happened to the Ruthless. I have no idea. She comes back, runs behind Multiple Winner Inject, gets the race, knocks the rust off, goes to Churchill, wins. Comes back last time, duels through moderate fractions in the mud. Every time she has run in her form cycle, her second race of her form cycle has been exponentially better. The thing here is, I think her race off the bench last time was her best race off of the bench in her career.
That started in the mud at Aqueduct.
Correct. So now she's run better second time. I think that was her best start off the break. She's the speed in here. Dylan Davis has to be aggressive with her in here. I know Bold Confection outside looks like she's fast. This filly's faster.
You just liked it better than her other first off the bench?
I think her first off the bench race was good. Her second off the bench race is always better.
That's no
She
question
follows
true.
that pattern.
Yeah.
I think she is going to be ultra tough in here. And I think the favorite has serious holes with the out-of-town form. That's it.
There's another Parks filly outside too.
Yeah.
Bold Confections won 2 in a row. Out of town form. She did beat a filly named Billy Ann last time out. It was a long time ago, but Billy Ann had faced Oksana. It was Oksana's second start. As main, she lost by 21.5 lengths.
Yeah. And you see her race, this filly's race is kind of spaced apart, right? You see 7.5 weeks between the maiden win and the allowance win. Now what, we got 6.5 weeks between the allowance win and this 2 other than. Yeah, I mean, problem is, if Dealing Justice wants to lead, and Dylan Davis, she has it, and she's going to have to chase. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. She's won from off the pace, but I don't know. I like Dealing Justice a lot today. A lot.
So you think Dealing Justice gets the lead?
I do. I think she's supposed to. I don't know what's going to happen around here. She's supposed to be on the lead. She's the fastest horse in the race.
I think Oksana might get the lead.
Maybe. Trevor's has come back here very aggressive.
Yeah, it'll be close. She was super quick in that Prioress. Showed her against. This is another race too.
I would take the proverbial no prisoners in here if I was Dylan Davis with Dealing Justice. Come get
Take
me.
it to him.
That's what I would do. In my riding days, Greg.
Well documented on this show, I'm sure. 7th race, 6.5 furlongs, $25,000 claiming race. It is for non-winners of 2 lifetime. We agree in here. There's a lot to like with Raven and Rocks, and we're going to show you the last out performance. October 19th, it was at Finger Lakes. Completely got screwed here.
Yeah.
Got pushed out. Is dead last early on. Wide all the way around the racetrack, and this was a really slow pace for the level.
Yeah, they walked around the racetrack there, especially that opening quarter. I don't know how much she would have played a role. He would have played a role rather in that opening quarter. But man, you look through this horse's PPs and you see Gemography. What do you think now? Prince of Pharaohs.
I thought Gemography had a chance in a Thunder Rumble.
I mean, just an abundance of class relief, right? He's not going to win in all likelihood any other than down here this winter. Finger Lakes is closed. He's in where he belongs. And he's in to win. This is what Jeremiah Englehart does. He puts his horses in to win, right? That's why he has such a good stat with that maiden claiming stat with the 4 for 13. They run where they're supposed to run, for the most part. So there's a lot of things to like about this horse. I think the biggest thing to like about this horse today is its competition.
Yeah, I thought long and hard about your second choice in here, Hanger One, and the more I looked at that race, got beat by a horse that was 1 for 17 coming in. And you see that a lot in N2L levels, fine. I didn't see the will to want to go by that horse because it looked like he had every opportunity.
That's why they're in this condition. You're 100% right. But he's the kind of horse where I think if you pick his races apart a little bit, right, you take the turf races off his card, get rid of that 7/8 race down at Parks. I mean, he's nothing but consistent. He's nothing but consistent at a level where consistency is usually absent. So, I mean, I think he has to be respected. I think you could say the same thing for Ricky's Revenge. Now, Ricky's Revenge is a horse who he's certainly seen, right? He ran into Hoopla, who was kind of a ringer that day in Saratoga. His last 2 races, and Ray Handel has him, the blinkers went on, 3 back, throw the Hoopla race out. The next 2 races outside of Saratoga, he's ran figures that make him competitive in here as well.
Yeah.
And if you took Raven Rocks out of this race, what would the favorite be in here? 7-2? This would be a wild race with Raven
I agree
Rocks
with you.
out of this
I
race.
think Ricky's Revenge is coming into this, and it's going to take a big move forward.
Yeah,
but probably going to need to. But I think the 4 is a must-use in here.
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you, I thought Magnificent Chrome. I thought Magnificent Chrome's last 2 races
I agree with you.
made him a
Papa
player
Smooth in
here.
there. He only missed by a length and a half. Papa Smooth had the inside trip the entire way. Magnificent Chrome was wide throughout.
And I've liked what I've seen from limited chances from Alyssa Morrison.
Okay.
She looks good on a horse.
I will say, too, is it Brunate with Jimmy Bond?
I go with Brunate, yes.
Vet scratch for what it's worth this summer at Saratoga and also in mid-November, trying to get back on a couple of occasions.
Back a couple of times,
Yeah.
But hey, he's another one. Again, we talked about Trevor being aggressive last race. This horse's races 2 and 3 back before going to the bench. I mean, if I told you he was going to run that race back in February, he's on every single ticket you're making today. But a lot's happened since that day in February.
Yeah. Ready for
That's
the
an
finale?
understatement.
So this last race to me felt a lot like the Eshar race. Because
Yeah, I got a little feel like that. I don't
if
disagree.
quantitative breezing can return to what he did 2 starts back,
okay.
The race is going to be a very different race. We're going to look back at the win. This was September 19th. And
Dusting these. She crop dusted this field. This was like gate open, got to the front, was just like, see you later, girls. Bye, ladies. Man, what happened last night?
81 buyer.
What happened?
Dominates and then just does not show up.
I was eviscerated for picking this
At
filly last
1
time.
to
and it
2,
was correct.
by the way, in the next
Awful.
start. This, by the way, New York bred, A other than 6.5 furlongs. So was it a reaction to the biggest performance of her life? Was it moving to a new barn?
So, I don't have the answer for you, my friend. I really don't. I will say this.
Did battle on the front end with Esotica
Yeah.
in the comeback race.
Yeah. She stopped running at the 3/8 pole. I mean, what's the excuse? Now, she could run in the 3 life. She could find a 3 lifetime claimant to run in. I think the fact that she's running back in the allowance race overall is a good sign. Overall is a good sign because when you have the last name Englehart, whether it's Chris or Jeremiah or Jeffrey, they know where to put their horses. And the fact that he's running this horse back in the other end, I think should be looked at as a good sign. I can't touch her off that last race.
It was horrible. It's really the only way to put it.
Because she ran. She broke. She went to the lead like she's supposed to do. Yeah, she got into a duel, but you know what? Speed horses get into duels sometimes. And she just had
And
no
the other
response.
thing was the win was for 25 and 2L. That was stepping up to this level.
Yeah.
And just showed she wasn't up to it.
Yeah, the way she ran last time, though, I don't know if she would have ran well at any level. That's the
So
problem.
you look at it, though. So who goes with her? It looks like there's others to go with her, right?
Yeah, I mean, Towering Orbit has to go. Certainly Towering Orbit. I don't know if I don't know how what the intent on color chart's going to be. See, I know these horses don't look as fast on paper, but
More kind of route speed there.
yeah, I know. But you know, sometimes these horses find some speed. I don't think Behind the Couch is that slow. But yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be Quantitative Breezing and Towering Orbit on the front.
Yeah, so Towering Orbit, I wish we could have showed you this one too, but the debut, or the maiden win at Saratoga, she broke incredibly quick, and she's the one who floated out about 5 or 6 pass wide around the turn, and then a horse came up the inside, I'm Perfect 2, and nearly stole it from her, but she still was able to hang on and win. I'm Perfect 2 actually jumped up to an open maiden special weight next time out to win. She got an 80 by her, that was in Saratoga. And then she flattered that for him with a narrow second against State Bred A Other Than. I'm going to put that mud race off the bench behind her. I think Towering Orbit a lot to like with her today, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have a second. You got
A lot
her
of
on top.
upside, too.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Lightly raced.
And I feel like after Quantitative Breezing's last race, I want who's going to be closest to her. She's likely to speed. Towering Orbit's the one that's going to be closest to her. That's who I want a horse like that. But ultimately, I went to Chasing Cara. She's just shown a lot of consistency. Even in the mile race, she showed that day. And I know she broke her maiden going a mile. Again, this is where the results dictate the narrative. I know she broke her maiden going a mile. She doesn't want to go a mile. She really doesn't. The day she broke her maiden going a mile, she rode an unbelievable inside speed bias from the rail, went to the lead from the rail and just had 2 horses who were outside that just could not go by because of the racetrack. She does not want any part of a mile. She's a sprinter. Her last 3 figs sprinting, I mean, put her right on the money. The truth of the matter is, her last 3 figs sprinting, if you were to take the Quantitative Breezing race out of here, put her in the winner's circle today. And she's going to be a square price. She's 4 to 1 in the morning line. She'll be all of that.
Okay. Last thing I'll say, I thought the 9 Behind the Couch, Maryland form coming in. As you said, we're going to see a lot of these Maryland horses coming to different circuits, and certainly to here. Kind of muddied up for a couple of turf races in there, a couple of races that were on off tracks. She's got races that absolutely make her a major player in
I
here.
wasted too much money when Jeremiah had her earlier in her career up here as a 2-year-old and 3-year-old. I can't do it anymore.
Okay.
My bankroll says, when I go into reach into my pocket and go to my Naira Bets account, I get a jolt.
Quantitative Breezing for you, complete toss?
No, I want no part of it.
Complete toss. She's going to be in front. It's going to be interesting to see.
She is going to be in front.
Her, Ashar, I think the 2 biggest question marks on this entire card that
Fun
people
card.
are going to have to
Fun card. The carryover makes it
play
it even
around
more
those,
interesting.
yeah. Good luck, everybody.
Yes, good luck to you, too. We going heads up in the 6th race today.
We
Oksana versus Dealing Justice.
Look,
False count anywhere.
we'll see
South
what
Ozone
happens.
Park, Queens.
Oksana is probably going to be a lean for me. I would not be surprised if she gets beat. 3-year-old filly races, to me, I have
They're
very
tough,
little
yeah.
trust
Yeah.
usually with that division. You can play it all again with Naira Bets. $200 deposit match sign up. Promo code to use, bonus 200. Go to NairaBets.com or download the app to get involved. And this is a day you want to do it with this carryover of $87,000. Begins in race 3. It is chilly out there, by the way. I am glad I'm not a jockey today.
Yeah. It's not chilly at Los Al.
Bet 50 at Los Alamitos and at Aqueduct. And just for doing that, you get a $15 bonus in your Naira Bets account. You do have to opt in, and that's whether you win or lose. Go to NairaBets.com, download the app to get involved. Good luck, everyone, today, especially in the Pick 6. We'll see what happens. Early Pick 5 pool, 72,000 and growing. I had fun. I'm with you all week, right?
I know. I'm looking forward to that. See you tomorrow.
Sounds
I'll be
good.
here all day. Calling the double. Johnny I is running a little late, so I'm going to call the double. Then I'm going
Okay.
to come down here and take everybody through the Pick 6 sequence today.
Nice.
See
Look
if we
forward
can make
to
some
it.
money today.
All right, I'll hear you in the call first couple of races. Good luck, everyone.